This is how you share your games on PS4.
Thanks.
You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Sony has forever changed gaming as we know it. Once heralded as the hero of gaming, with the titan that is the PlayStation 2, the best-selling console of all time, and consumer-first decisions such as making PlayStation Network free-to-play on the PlayStation 3, Sony has slowly been descending into a shadow of their former self. Days ago, Sony announced that beginning in 2028, they will be ceasing production of all physical discs for PlayStation games. An entire group of gamers are being told that their preferred medium is going extinct. Sony doesn't care about collectors, they don't care about choice, and they don't care about gamers. They care about profit. And by making all games digital, they don't have to eat the cost of physical production. Their justification for this is that 85% of game sales are digital. Yet when you actually look deeper into that claim, you realize that it's built on a foundation of lies. Digital sales are inflated. Digital sales includes DLC, skins, or any microtransactions or PlayStation Network credit. Those are considered a digital sale. In reality, physical games are selling in large amounts still. 55% of Astrobot sales in Europe were physical. Physical is not dying. It's being eliminated. Gamers are being pushed into a direction without a choice. And how this affects you doesn't end with having a choice removed from you. The main crux of buying games digitally is that you don't actually own those games. You're buying a license to be able to play the game for as long as they say you could play the game. A license that can be revoked and removed at any time. There is no guaranteed lifespan of your game. It's what they determine it to be. Just as Sony announced this change to their game production, they also announced that the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita stores will be shutting down. They added this at the end of the announcement, quote, "To ease the transition, players will still be able to download previously purchased content after the closing date for the foreseeable future." The keywords there being "for the foreseeable future." AKA, they are not guaranteeing that you will have the ability to download your games forever. If they don't want to pay the cost associated with hosting those servers, they can, at any time, remove your ability to download games you have purchased. Games you thought you owned. That is not ownership. This is leasing. This is renting. The same thing will happen in 2 decades to the PlayStation 5 as well. I love collecting physical games. And yes, I am mostly a PC player, and physical on PC is completely dead at this point. I mean, the last physical game I bought on PC was Fallout 4 in 2015. But if PC games were still releasing physically, I would still be buying them physically. I love the box art. I love the disc art. I love the instruction manual. And I want to put my library on display on a shelf proudly. Unfortunately, that was taken away from me for PC, but with console gaming, I was still able to do that. I have GameCube games, PS2 games, PS1 games, DS games, Game Boy games. Imagine if all of these were digital releases and the stores had shut down, leaving me with no way to play them anymore. The PlayStation 1 came out in 1995. That's 31 years ago. 3 decades. No chance those games would still be available if they were digital only back then. But yet I still have physical copies and still enjoy playing games from that era. And I'm not the only one. There are hundreds of thousands of people that prefer physical, that love collecting games. My roommate has 4 bookshelves in our living room completely full of games that she's collected over the years. And what's crazy is some of those games she already owns a digital copy of, but she wanted the physical one to display. That's more profit for you, Sony. Sony does a lot of things that don't really make a lot of sense to me. They have Bloodborne, an insanely popular game that they made a ton of money on, yet refused to release it on PC where they could make a ton more money. And recently they announced that they are pulling back on their PC ports and will no longer be releasing games on PC. I think their belief is the same as Rockstar's, where they expect an exclusive game to be a console seller. But most people on PC are not going to buy a console just for 1 or 2 games. We will sit and wait for the PC release, or we just won't play it. Or in the case of Bloodborne, we will reverse engineer the game and emulate it on PC anyways. And now a large chunk of dedicated PlayStation gamers will be switching away from the console and moving over to PC. And I mean, why wouldn't you? You get hugely discounted games all the time, you get full control over graphics options, input options, and you don't have to pay to play your games online. And now that Sony has killed off physical games, you can switch over to PC with no qualms. Sony has really just axed the entire lineage of console gaming that they worked so hard to build up over the years. I mean, the PS5 dominates the Xbox in sales. It's like a 5-to-1 ratio. And then they go and do something like this? They're trying so hard to create an isolated ecosystem like Nintendo, but they're going about it the completely wrong way. At least with Nintendo, we still have physical games for now. And honestly, the way Nintendo has gone about it is much better than Sony or Xbox, because Nintendo games are flash storage cartridges instead of discs, meaning they can hold much more content on them instead of requiring you to download the rest of the game from the internet. Now, not every game they've released functions this way, and it likely has something to do with how much a publisher is willing to eat in storage costs for their game, as the larger cartridges are reported to cost around $22. But Oblivion Remastered just got announced for the Switch 2, and the full game is going to be on the cartridge. 61.4 gigabytes fully on cartridge. Now that's how it's done. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, it did seem inevitable that gaming would eventually move over to an all-digital medium, but I really don't think that that time has to be now. Unfortunately though, once one of the big three sets the precedence for how the industry is moving forward, the other two usually follow in the name of profits. The same thing happened with Nintendo upping the price of AAA games to $80 as the new standard, and the same is likely going to happen with the death of physical games.